Good morning, my name is Mohammed. This is the Lelit Elizabeth PL92T, or they call it a V3. And in this video, I'll be demonstrating this machine, making a latte on it, showing you what it's capable of, yeah, hopefully giving you a few tips and tricks about espresso along the way. This machine is actually relatively new to me. It's only a few months old, and as you can see, it's in excellent condition. I would assume in and out as well. Yeah, so I've turned on the machine about 10 minutes ago. The lid says it'll be ready in 10 minutes. You can leave it on for even longer. It does have an economical eco mode where I think it turns off after 30 seconds. And there's also a way to turn off the steam boiler. So the machine has quite a few features for its price. Usually machines at this price are either single boiler or heat exchanger. No, let's be fair. Usually machines at this price are heat exchanger with not as many features as this one. I believe Lelit is like the Breville of coffee machines, where they offer you a lot of good features, a lot of build quality at a decent price, where the other brands will take more money from you for having a full metal heavy body or a lever E61 lever system or things like that. This machine saves costs in a few places, but the build quality, I would say, it rivals, or it's very similar to the Rockets, the ECMs, the Profitex, the Rancherios. And the features are, I would say, similar to a dual boiler. So this is a dual boiler machine. This isn't a review, an exhaustive review, just a quick overview and a demonstration on it. So it's got two boilers. I can't exactly remember the capacities, but two dedicated boilers with a PID each. My coffee is set at 93 degrees, and then my steam is set at 135. So you can obviously change quite a few settings from this display. I guess let's just go over what we see. We have 3 buttons on the left: single shot, double shot, and hot water spout. You also have the on and off switch on the left. This is the physical cut-off switch, but the machine also has like a standby mode. I believe you access that by turning off the machine. I think holding these 2 buttons and then turning it back on. And then if this doesn't flash, that means now it's in the always on mode. Turn it off, turn it on. Now it'll stay on forever. Pretty much forever. Turn it off. I'll try to turn on this power saving feature, and then I'll do this. And if this flashes, that means it's in the power saving mode. And now the machine will turn off in 30 minutes, as to not waste any heat, any power on staying hot. And also to sort of prolong the life of the machine. The machine doesn't, I mean, it is a coffee machine that heats up, but it's not designed to stay on forever. We've got connectors, pipes, joints and even electronic sensors that degrade over time with high heat. As you can imagine, it's really hot inside, between 100 to 130. Yeah, so that's that. It also has a way to turn off the steam boiler, and if you only drink espressos, this is great. So you can only use the steam feature when we're in the mood for a latte, or you've got a party to make lattes for. I think you hold the negative button. Yeah, you hold that, you see the E logo, it'll turn off the steam boiler. We'll do it again to turn it back on. E for economy. If you hold the button, it shows you the espresso. And if you hold it again, take it off and hold it again, the plus button, it'll show you the steam pressure. And just really quickly going to the menu, you've got so let's wait for it to time out. We'll start from the beginning. So when you press the negative button, it'll take you to the menu. You'll see a wrench logo. I'm not sure if you can see it from the camera. Yeah, you kind of can see it. Yeah, you can. I'll zoom in. Wouldn't hurt to zoom in a little bit. Just have to zoom out when I make the coffee. There we go. press the button. I'll show you the wrench logo. This is your espresso temperature. If you press plus, you start adjusting that setting. You wait, it'll time out for 3 seconds. Then you press it again, that's the steam temperature. I'll press plus to start changing it, but I won't change it. I'll go, this is the setting for the 2 shots, the single and the double shot. So it says 1 and 2. It's more like a customizable button number 1, customizable number 2, not exactly single or double. I personally have set them to, I think 25, yeah, 25 and 30. 30 is the standard double. Pre-infusion, so you've got a really smart pre-infusion system. I don't fully understand how it works, but what I do know is that you press the button, it'll pump a little bit of the coffee from the espresso boiler for I think a second or so, and then it'll use the steam. There's a connection between the steam and the coffee boiler, so it uses steam from the steam boiler to slowly and gently purge out water into your puck. So some machines use the pump at a low vibration, low intensity or low power mode to pre-infuse. Some machines purge a bit of water and stop completely and wait a few seconds for the coffee to infuse. This machine starts, stops, and gives you a slow stream of water, gentle stream of water from the steam, from the boiler, using that steam. So this is what it looks like. See? You still get a bit of water, and then it starts again after the 7 second mark. 7 second mark. It also has autofill, so every time you use the coffee boiler, steam boiler, or the hot water tap, it will autofill the boiler because it's got sensors that know how much water is in the boilers. So it won't let your boiler overheat or burn like other cheaper machines. Also shows you a shot timer, but we'll do that later. Yeah, so I've set the pre-infusion to 1 and 2. Steam, I think this is a steam boiler, you can turn it on and off. There's another way to do that in the menu. Then we have Celsius and Fahrenheit and the total shots. So this has made a few hundred, not much honestly. For something like this I can go well beyond 10,000. Perfect, so let's actually make the coffee. I have my coffee ground here in the dosing cup. I've got 18 grams of freshly ground coffee. Usually I'll start my procedure with any coffee machine by doing a blank shot, just to heat up the coffee machine a bit, heat up my cup. Honestly, mainly in this stage, mainly the cup that's cold, because the machine, after 10 minutes, it's really hot. Even the group head is burning, it's piping hot. Because it's a saturated group head. So the boiler sits exactly on top of this group head, the metal block that connects to the portafilter handle, which is also metal. So they both are sharing that heat from the boiler. Your top also is metal. The whole machine is a brushed stainless steel. So there's no reason for me to say everything is metal. The only things that are plastic, the button on the left, the switch, the portafilter handle, it's plastic. It is a matte plastic, to be fair. And also the the steam dial, which is like a graduated dial, so it's not an on and off switch, so you can turn it halfway if you're a beginner, or if you have a little quantity of milk, all the way if you want to get your milk steamed quickly. Otherwise the machine is very well built. It comes with a few accessories. I don't have them exactly now. But yeah, single, double basket and a blank basket. Scoop, a plastic tamper. I got this metal tamper. It's much better quality. The plastic tamper is pathetic, I would say. Of course, use a manual and warranty cards. I think, yeah, a little tray, or what do you call it? A little table for your small espresso cups. So you can raise this a little bit if you're making espresso only in the small shot glasses. Maybe one or two more things, but I can't exactly remember. That's about it. Yeah, I really like the design of the machine. It's got a water level sensor, water softening system that you can plug in, program buttons, a hot water spout that actually gives you very gentle water and doesn't bubble. Oh, I forgot to zoom out. It's alright. there we go. Yeah, overall I think the machine is very well built, and well thought of, or well thought out. And yeah, coffee. Let's do the blank shot. So I'll start with the single. It'll give me a single quantity, which I've set it to 25 seconds, like I said. We've got a shot timer here, and the pressure gauge. Of course, there's no coffee in the handle. The pressure gauge won't move. That's 25 seconds. And then the machine will auto-fill. I actually have never done this, so I'm gonna put the blank disc and see what the OPV is set to. It goes from 0 bar all the way to 12. I think a bit more, but the 12 is the last number I can see on the screen. Should be about 8 to 10, or 9 to 10 I should say. Oh, it's exactly on 9 bars. That's great, Lelit. Good job. So yeah, the OPV is set to 9 bars. That's great. I'll take this out. This is really hot, so be careful not to burn yourself. I've ground my coffee. I've ground 9 grams of coffee, so I've got 9 grams, not 9, 18. 9 grams for a single shot, 18 for a double shot, and this is the double basket. Put it on. You can get a distribution tool, you can get a few toys for your coffee machine, but I think for me, I'm just going to keep it at the basics at this stage. So a dosing cup and tamper. I'm going to distribute it with my fingers before tamping. You want it to be flat, and you want to set the grinder to the correct grind size. Obviously, if this is your first coffee machine, you'll have to learn what the correct grind size is for your bean by trial and error. So you make the coffee at a certain grind size. If it flows too quick, you make it a bit finer. If it flows too slow, you make it a bit coarser, and keep adjusting until you can get the right flow. And what's the right flow? It's a doubling of what you put in. So 36 grams of coffee coming out in 30 seconds. So this machine will give us 30 seconds. My beans are already ground at 18 grams. So the only variable I would change, to keep life simple for me, I'm going to try to tamp consistently. I'll keep the dose at 18 grams fixed, and I'll keep the time fixed at 30 seconds. The only thing I will change is the grind size. Make sure you use fresh beans. If you use old beans or cheap beans, a lot of the time they're not good for single wall baskets brewing, and they might be a bit too quick for your liking and may not taste great. So fresh beans, correctly grounded, the correct grind size. I'm using the grind size from my other machine now, so I've been using that for a while. I'm not exactly sure if it'll be correct in this case, but we'll see how we go. It's a 58 millimeter basket, so you have to be a bit more, careful with your dose and tamp. So if you tamp unevenly, or if you have any imperfections in your coffee, you may ruin your shot more easier than a 54 millimeter basket, which is a bit smaller. So yeah, you have to be a bit strategic with pressing the coffee and dosing and things like that. But the end result will be better than a 54 millimeter because you have that more surface area. Your coffee will taste better. At least that's in theory. I haven't compared them side by side yet. Okay, so I've locked in the handle to the middle position. It already is tight over there. I don't have to over tighten it. Then get a little bit of hot water. So this is great for making warm black coffees, brewing tea, warming up your cups, etc. in my case, I add a little bit of hot water so I can help the sugar dissolve. I'm surprised I drink my coffees with sugar, so that's that. I feel like with a bit of hot water it will melt and mix with the espresso really nicely. But it will dilute your coffee a little bit. Anyway, regardless, the way you want to approach this is after you've set everything up, calibrate your scale. In my case, I've already done that. And then I'll press the double. It'll stop at 30 seconds and we'll see how much we get. If I see the coffee coming out at a really quick pace, I'll stop it so we don't over extract our coffee and ruin our day. But if we get too little, we know that we need to grind coarser. If we get too much, we know that we need to grind finer to adjust. I don't have to start a stopwatch or anything, it already has a timer on. So it started flowing at 6 seconds approximately, and it's at 8 bars. So, this is telling me that I probably need to grind finer or get better beans. The beans have been sitting in the container for, I'll stop it at 23 seconds. The beans have been sitting in the container for about 3 weeks. So maybe that would explain why. And it's also, I haven't used the 58mm portafilter in a while because my machine is 54. So again, I would do this again if I had the time. This is 50 grams, certainly more than the 36 that we're aiming for. This is about a 3-to-1 ratio. It might still taste good, especially if you add sugar and milk. But classic espresso is a 2-to-1 ratio. So what I would do in this case, if I had the time, I would grind a bit finer. Or change the beans actually. Grind a bit finer as well. And make another coffee. So I would just on the Breville's or most coffee machines, I would adjust it by 2 notches or 2 numbers at a time and see what happens. Yeah, and ideally you'd get about here. But still we got good-ish pressure. It was 8 bars. Ideally should be closer to 9 bars. Doesn't taste bad actually. You can tell it's over extracted because there's a bit of acidity in the coffee. Make sure you always clean and flush the machine when you're done. Get a knockbox if you don't have one, or you can just knock it into the bin. This is quite easy to clean because it's a single wall basket. Rinse the group head, so press one of the buttons. This is going to rinse your shower screen, your portafilter, and just keep everyone happy really. Make sure you don't burn yourself. The coffee coming out of here is, like I said, 90 degrees plus, so you can easily scald yourself. And it'll be nice every now and then to grab a tissue or a brush and clean the nooks and crannies in the group head. Again, it's really hot, make sure you don't touch the metal directly. But yeah, there's a bit of coffee grounds in there, not much. It's pretty clean machine, very tidy. Whoever buys this next will love it, I'm sure. We're not done yet, we still have the steaming to do. It is a dual boiler machine, like I said, so you can always access steam. But for the sake of the video, I do them separately, so I don't overwhelm you guys and focus on one thing at a time really. I think that's better for videos like this. Keep the machine nice and dry as much as you can, and this will prevent rust. It is a stainless steel machine, but rust is possible. It's stainless, so stains less, not stain proof. Next is milk. So I need to fill my jug. Ideally should have done this before the video, but it is what it is. Make sure you use cold milk. Ideally don't store your milk jug on top. You don't want it to be warm. You want it to be cold. Some people actually store this in the freezer or the fridge. I think that's a bit too extreme, but the milk definitely is important that it's in the fridge. That way it'll steam better. Otherwise, if you start with lukewarm milk or warm milk, you don't have a lot of time until you can froth it and get to that 60-degree temperature. Cool. I'm gonna put 300 mils of milk. Each drink is different. For a latte, I would say 250. Yeah, let's put 250. Should be fine. On most jugs, you can just tell the amount, the correct amount by the spout. So just below the spout, or about halfway, a bit less actually. Cool. The steam wand on this machine, another feature, great feature that I've come to appreciate, is the dual wall insulated wand. You might be surprised to see that there's no like rubber lever or plastic handle protector thingy that they put on most coffee machines, even the Breville Touch that I have here. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video. You can, yeah. It's an insulated one, but it has like this rubber thingy, so you can move it up and down. On the cheaper Breville machines or the other machines, they have a plastic or rubber loop as well. This one doesn't, and that's because they really trust their insulated wand. Indeed, it doesn't get really hot. It barely changes temperature compared to room temperature. Maybe a bit warm, close to body temperature, but it doesn't get hot one bit. The things that do get hot are the tip. So close to the tip, a bit of the heat will radiate here. But here it's very, very, very manageable. Even here it's very manageable. If you do get all the way up to the place, the ball joint where it connects to this ball joint, it does get hot if you touch it there, but no one should touch it there, honestly. So right around the angle, so just like this, that's more than safe. Yeah, so always start by purging to get rid of any condensation. This is a two hole tip. You can unscrew it and change it to a single or triple, but I think 2 is adequate for now. Yeah, if you don't know how to steam milk, I think it's worthwhile to practice and watch some videos. But basically, I'm going to put it at an angle, hold this position for a while, keep the tip close to the surface, try to get the milk swirling and hissing at me. Hissing means that it's making like a paper tearing noise and it's incorporating air into the milk. I'll do that for about 5 seconds, and then after that I'll raise the jug. Don't want to overdo it. If you overdo that hissing stage, that what do you call it? Frothing stage, it will become too bubbly. So I don't want to do it for too long. 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. So 5 seconds more than enough for a latte. For a cappuccino, maybe a bit more to give it more froth. But now I've raised it, I've stopped incorporating air by dunking the wand into the milk a bit further. So now it's just spinning the milk and heating it as well. Keep it spinning, try to hold that position, and then stop it when it's too hot to the touch, which is right about now. It gets hot really quickly because it's a really powerful steam boiler. So make sure you don't cook your milk. Anything over 65, I would say, is too hot. This is beautiful milk. Insulated one means that it's really easy to wipe and clean. You can actually use a tissue to wipe, but the better thing is to get a wet towel. Wipe, very easy. Give it another push to clean it from any milk residue. Once or twice should do the trick. And that's it. That's coffee or latte on the Lelit Elizabeth. All that's left is to pour the milk, see what we can do. I'm not a barista. I don't know how to do latte art, but this milk is very enticing. It makes me want to do latte art, and if I were a barista, I certainly can do some beautiful patterns with this, but I don't promise anything. A very strangely shaped heart is what we're getting today, or a very sick Pac-Man. Anyway, it looks really delicious. I really am looking forward to drinking this. This is what it looks like. Pac-Man or heart, up to you, open to interpretation. Anyway, that's a latte, looking very good. I'm sure if you're a barista, if you have a bit of training, you can do much better. This is more or less almost a prosumer, close to industrial level machine. So it has all the features, all the build quality, and the looks to go as well. I'm sure you'll love it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Yeah. Good luck.